Hi, I'm Paul DeBruzzo and I'm a former firefighter. I loved my career, but after a decade I was burnt out, spinning my wheels and working part-time jobs just to get ahead financially. I searched hard for answers, and when I finally found my mentors, they taught me how to invest using proven and duplicatable systems so I can grow my business quickly. After a few years, I was able to retire and focus 100% on spending quality time with my wife and 3 daughters, growing my real estate business and living out my passion, and also being a guide and mentor for others just like you. Hundreds of our students have been able to use our mentorship and investing systems to work less, play more, achieve financial independence, live out their passions daily, travel often without regret, and even pay off their mortgages. Some of our clients and students have agreed to share their personal experiences and journeys with you. We hope and believe you'll be inspired to take action and invest in a life worth living. We are headed to Hamilton right now to meet one of our clients and students, Mrs. Joy Mora. She's created some tremendous freedom for herself, for her family, for her husband, and her lifestyle, and she's just a fantastic story. Joy.
Hey, Paul. It's great to see you.
Do you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you came from, and kind of how you started looking into real estate?
I grew up in a small town, cottage country in the Kawarthas.
So everyone's trying to get to Kawartha now, and you came from
And
Kawartha.
I came out, exactly. I went the wrong way. I started out with a business degree, and I worked in many different positions that involved real estate in some way. And I knew at some point that I absolutely had to invest in real estate. I knew that that was the only way for me to live the life that I wanted to live.
So you didn't start being an entrepreneur, you kind of went to school, post-secondary education, and got a kind of job, job, started a career, and then transitioned to real estate.
Yep, absolutely.
Got it.
When I had my youngest child, I knew that at that point, my husband and I both had corporate, busy careers, and I knew we would never invest in real estate if we were both doing that. So that's why I took the big risk of giving up a pension, giving up benefits, giving up the big salary. The work that I do is going to give us the future that we want.
It wasn't easy to leave your job. It
No.
must have been nervous and scary and emotional and all that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely. We had to really tighten the belt, right? We just, it was
A few
tricky.
macaroni and cheese dinners.
For sure, for sure, yeah.
I know so many people are going to relate to that, and wanting to do something better for their lives. They want more freedom in their lifestyle, but they're not sure what sacrifices they have to make. They're not sure what path they have to take, because they see people living it and they're like, how do I go from where I am now to where they got to go? They don't know how to fill that gap. But it's great to see just regular people like you, who don't have a great uncle who just left you a bunch of money, who made it easy for you. You had to grind to kind of get there.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
The first investment was actually my first home. I found a property and it was under foreclosure, and I didn't know how to swing a hammer.
That's a great thing about real estate, is that even if you make mistakes, the education you get from making the mistake and then having to force yourself to create the solution is an education you can't buy anywhere. You can't go to university, you can't go to college, you can't go to trade school to learn this kind of stuff. So you and Eduardo decided to hang on to that investment property for an extra year or two because you felt the market was going to do well, and then kind of deal with it. How much more equity did you gain by waiting that extra year or two?
So all combined, it probably would be about $700,000.
Wow. And there was still money left over to do another, we'll say, larger type of investment property, more multifamily, and that was the sixplex we got in Hamilton.
We wanted to go a little bit bigger, and that's when I met you.
If I remember correctly, there was some immediate hurdles.
There was a lot of rain.
Yes.
And it completely flooded our biggest 3-bedroom unit.
So worst case scenario, the thing that everyone's afraid of, what happens when my property floods? Inevitably, right? And it happened to you 2 months after closing.
When you actually go through what you're afraid of, you realize it's not that bad. You just fix it. It was very clear that you knew what you were doing. Like, really.
It's basically like an infinite return at this point. None of your own money is in the property.
$700,000.
Another $700,000 in 7 years.
That doesn't include the mortgage pay down either. Like, that's just pure appreciation or first appreciation. The type of person who should go into real estate is someone that wants more. You're not going to like it unless you're actually trying to get somewhere.
So there has to be a why.
There has to be a why.
There has to be a big enough why that motivates
Absolutely.
you. Were you able to achieve your why? Did you get there?
Yeah. And now I have another why. Your whys keep growing.
And now your why's changed to something
Exactly.
bigger and better.
As we continue growing our portfolio, we are taking on partners because we want to be able to share the experience.
It's going to be great for you and for your partners also. Congratulations.
Thank you.
If these stories resonate with you, I want to personally invite you to our next free investor training class. We're going to teach you the step-by-step investing and financing strategies that are working for investors in today's market and right here in Southern Ontario. We'll reserve a spot for you either in person at our training center right here in the GTA or live via Zoom in our special evening training sessions. Remember, an educated investor is a successful investor.